Long, long ago, in the days when the oceans were fresh water and you could drink the sea, there lived two brothers, Han and Sue. Han was hard-hearted and cruel, the older brother. Sue, the younger, was kind and giving. One day Sue was in the forest collecting firewood when he saw on the path an old man who was begging for food and water. Kindly Sue picked up the old man and carried him to his home. He shared all that he had, and soon the old man was well. But when it came time to leave, the old man turned to Sue and said, "All I have for you is this." And from nowhere he produced a millstone, a heavy millstone. Say, "Grind, millstone, grind, and whatever you imagine will be ground. And when you have enough, say, 'Millstone, grind no more, remember this.'" The old man seemed to vanish then. Sue sat down with the millstone and imagined it would be good to have rice flour. And he said, "Grind, millstone, grind," and soon the millstone began to turn. And then flowing from the millstone, he saw rice flour, so much rice flour. There was a pile and then a great heap. When he had more than enough, he said, "Millstone, grind no more." He did not need all that rice flour, so what was surplus he took to share with those who lived locally and needed it most, those who were hungry. Well, his older brother Han saw all of this. Where did he get that rice flour? Secretly, he followed Sue to his home and hid. He watched as Sue sat down by the millstone again, and now Sue imagined it would be good to have soya flour. He said, "Grind, millstone, grind," and the millstone began to turn. And sure enough, from the millstone there poured now flowing soya flour, more and more and more, until there was a great pile. Well, Han had seen enough. He slipped from the house to make his plans. When there was a huge heap, yes, Sue said, "Millstone, grind no more." He took the soya flour that he did not need and gave it to the hungriest and the poorest in the locality. While he was doing this, his older brother slipped into Sue's home and stole the millstone. He carried it all the way down to the shore. He pushed away from the shore in a small boat. "No one will find me here." And there in the middle of the sea, he thought, now, what would be the most valuable thing that could be ground? What could bring me the most wealth? Well, of course, in those days, there was very little salt in the world. Salt was the most precious of all. "I will have salt. I imagine salt." And he said, "Grind, millstone, grind." And the millstone began to turn there in the bottom of the boat. And sure enough, there flowed salt. So much salt was appearing at the bottom of the boat. The millstone turned and the boat was filling with salt. "Oh, I will be rich beyond my dreams. This is wonderful," said Han. When the boat was nearly full with salt, Han cried, "Stop now, enough, enough." But the millstone continued to turn. He did not know the words that he should speak. He panicked. "Stop, I say." He could not swim. The millstone turned, and more salt filled the boat until it came over. And the boat began to sink down beneath the sea, carrying the millstone and greedy Han with it. At the bottom of the sea, the millstone continued to turn, and is turning still, which is why they say in Korea, the oceans are salty. That story was told to me by a Korean woman, KC. Here I am on Mardon Down on the edge of Dartmoor. Can you hear the cuckoo in the background now and then? My name's David Heathfield. It's Saturday, the 25th of April 2020, and this is a breath of fresh air.